So I'm Pamela Gillman, and I manage the large-scale parallel file systems and the data transfer services within the high-performance computing group at the National Center for Atmospheric Research. So NCAR is mainly a climate research and a weather research facility, and so the science there is mostly models that are run in climate and weather. With scientific research, one of the big challenges is always the amount of data that's produced, and since we're mainly a model company and that's what we do is produce models, is we produce a lot of data to go along with it. And that data is available to the community at large. It's available internationally. And so getting that data to somebody that's not at our center but at another center has always been a challenge. So as network speeds have increased, looking for transfer mechanisms that make that a much more painless job for a user has been important to us. So Globus fills a really nice niche there for us in that it makes it easy for the user. It's very reliable. The user can set up the job they want. They can come back later and check on it, and then it lets them know when it's done. And it's just been a very nice tool for us. So I think we have two major things. One is somebody that is computing at another site but resides at NCAR and needs to bring the data back to work with it at NCAR. And then the second case is people that produce data at NCAR that need to share that with a larger community. A lot of papers are published for the research that we do, and so making the data available that matches a paper has been very important, and it's becoming more important as time goes by. Prior to using Globus, we did use grid FTP, standard grid FTP. That was always a very cumbersome job. It's a very difficult tool to use directly. So most people resorted to either standard FTP or an SCP or SFTP. Those are things that you have to babysit. You have to spend a lot of time watching and making sure that you get what you want in the end result. So probably 4 or 5 years ago, we started to try to implement Globus and get the word out to our user community that it was a tool that was going to be a little easier for them to use. Well, I think the biggest selling feature that we've had for our users is what they call launch and forget, is the fact that you can spend your time up front telling it what you want done with your data and you go away. There isn't babysitting. If there's a failure, it retries. It takes care of you under the covers. So that when you are now told that the job is finished, then you have confidence that your data is all there, that it's intact, and that you can move on with whatever task it is that you're working with. I have fewer complaints from users about something that fails. The tool provides them enough feedback that they can tell if they've had a failure, they can tell what it was, how they need to deal with it. And so I'm getting a lot fewer calls, I think, as far as what just happened. The data is there for them to understand what just happened. So I think with the work that our user community does with a lot of other institutions, the implementation of Globus at both our site and at the sites that our users work with has been very valuable across the board. We absolutely recommend it to our user community as their #1 utility to use for their data transfers, and we try not to have them use any of the older tools at this point. We used to have at the facility in Boulder, we actually had different types of tape drives where we could package up data for people and actually put it on an airplane and send it to them. We've had jokes in the past about having 747s full of tape to move data around. But yeah, some of those old methodologies are still out there, but we're hoping that we get away from that.